Hello everybody, and welcome back to Call of the Wild the Angler. A little bit of an abrupt start. OBS was having a little problem connecting, but we're here now, and very glad to be here. Very glad to be back in the Angler. Yeah, I can even words sometimes. It's been a bit of a while, and there's been a new update, which is one of the things I am potentially quite excited to get to grips with. That's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to double check the options menu. Make sure we're not jumping into multiplayer. Nope, that's fine. Update number 1 is there's this teaser for a new reserve, which looks very exciting. I have absolutely no idea what this sort of little logo symbol-y thing is supposed to be. And actually, having said that, I should check that it's not like the Apex logo or anything. Okay, who knows. It doesn't look like it's the sea, which is a little bit of a shame because that's what I was hoping for. But this is the image that I have, so it's not a lot to base that assessment on. But we are for now going to be jumping right back into Golden Ridge Reserve and seeing what they've got going on with the new stuff. Very, very exciting. From what I've understood, there's been a bit of an animation change. There may have been a bit of a fish behavior update. The water apparently still takes a little while to load in. That's nothing new. So let's open her up. And we have this new tab, which is challenges. So we have daily and weekly challenges for XP. So I can look for bluegill. I can get 3 bronzes. Any that weigh 9 kilos or more, which is pretty tough, because that's... Oh, my goodness gracious me. Thank you so much for Official Doubles Wii for the follow. It's nice to have you along for the ride. How's everything going? What are we going to do? What are we going to grab? We also have weekly challenges. Official Doubles Wii says, hi, I'm considering buying the Angler. Do you have any positive, negative feelings about it? A few of both. I'd say I'm not... I like the fact that it's a little bit arcadey. You can throw a line out and catch a fish very quickly, very easily. I can probably demonstrate that right now, to be honest. Which word do I want? I want this word. If you're looking for something that's like gritty, long waiting times, this is absolutely not it. I'm not looking for that, so that doesn't trouble me. Yeah, look, see, that took all of, what, 20 seconds to find a fish? I like that about it. I think that the mechanics are a little not very intuitive when you're getting started, but once you understand the game, once you get to know the game, you're a couple hours in, they feel fairly good. Even the fighting fish, which I famously dislike, it feels okay now to me, now that I'm several hours into the game. There's a few odd choices with the game. It probably doesn't really need to be open world the same way it is. The graphics are very lovely. It's an extremely pretty game, and from the people who made TheHunter Call of the Wild, I would absolutely have expected, I guess, nothing less. Bip. Is it similar to Call of the Wild, the hunting version? Well... I want to say yes, because I think of it the same way. But in actuality, there's almost nothing about it that's similar. Like, the exploration in this feels a bit tacked on, whereas exploration is kind of a really big part of the Hunter Call of the Wild. The driving in this is a lot less nice than driving a quad bike in the Hunter as well. What other things to say? I also feel like this game, rather than the Hunter, it doesn't make you feel like there's sort of a lot of variety between places. Like wherever you kind of go in this game, so there's this whole map. It's a huge map. It's a wonderfully huge map. Um, Everywhere you go in this map, it feels like you have more or less the same fish. Like there's a few places sort of up here that have no, where is it? It's up here. There's a few places in the Highland that have like the salmon that aren't in low areas. There's a few places over here that have the zalga that aren't in warm areas. There's a few places in here that have the lake trout that aren't in shallow areas. But it doesn't feel like there's a vast difference between your experience of playing the game between going to different places. Whereas in The Hunter Call of the Wild, every new clearing, every new field feels like sort of a new, different experience where there might be an animal in a different location on that place. There's the same variety everywhere practically. A few fish. So the mountain whitefish you can find in sort of most places, but they're a little tricky to come by. The rainbow trout you can find almost everywhere, honestly. I actually keep a little personal map of like where I find different fish when I'm playing. Almost everywhere there's rainbow trout. Almost everywhere that's bigger than like a tiny little pond, there's also pike. There'll also be at least one of smallmouth and largemouth bass. Like those five-ish fish are almost everywhere across the map. Uh, the bluegill are harder to come by. The golden trout are harder to come by. The zalga and the salmon are a bit hard to come by sometimes. So those are kind of the interesting fish. And then catfish are tricky to get, but they are in a lot of places. Catfish are also my favorite fish in the whole game, by far. I mean, I have many hours in it. I could probably open up Steam and it'll tell me how many hours I have in this. I have 66 hours in this. I'm not going to say don't buy this game. I do enjoy it, but manage expectations if you're going to grab it. Did I actually pick any challenges? I don't think I did. I could be like a third of the way onto that catch 12 fish challenge, to be honest. That's all you need to know. Well, I'm glad to be of service. Oh, hello. Who's this little boy? Come here, little boy. Okay. Oh, I need to change my rod setup. Hello. I think I just saw a little perchy boy, so I'm gonna throw this in. See if I can get him out. Oh, hello. What are you? You're not a little perchy boy. You are a bass? Yes. Wonderful. You're still not actually what I was after. Oh, so I'm going to switch to... Oh, that'll do. Well, you were sort of over there-ish. While you do that, I'm gonna get into my challenges. See, the Zalga, the Salmon, the Bluegill are harder challenges, for sure. I might grab this. Enter. Activate challenge. That's also fairly difficult. I'm going to activate this because this one's easy XP. Then we can figure out which one species we want to go for. I guess probably bluegill, because I don't catch many bluegill. There we go. I definitely won't catch any bluegill here. Little Perchy Boy is not at all interested today, apparently. Where do I have bluegill? I need to actually open up my my map. You can't see the personal map, which I apologize. I've only caught bluegill in like 2 places on the same river, 3 places on the same river and 1 lake down in Ruby River Range. What does it say in the journal about bluegill? Bluegill. Oh, shut up, Clay. Ah! Oh! They've got more info in this screen now. This is a lovely update. Shallow pond, lakeshore, shallow lake, upstream, middle stream, low stream, upriver, middle river, river mouth, pond, wetland, river wetland. Right. Okay, so that's pretty much everything. And they eat pretty much everything as well, apparently. Well, that's dead handy. I wonder if the game guide is updated at all. Broadside bait years, bloodworm bait and spinner lures are the best to target them. Okay. Right, well, nobody's biting here, so let's go down to a new place. Let's find a new place that I've not fished in before. I'm tempted to say this lake over here, actually. I wonder where the easiest way to get there is. Probably up this valley up the middle. So, we'll head there. Grab a car from wherever the cars are to be found. Over there. Oh, blimey. I'm a bit rusty at the driving, apparently. Okay. Then we want to sort of go up the middle. Possibly stopping by this thing. Because I don't know if I marked it or not. Are you dinged? Yes, I guess you are fully dinged. Okay. Right. We're going that way. You a tree I need to report? No, okay. Unless they've changed how that looks as well. Yeah, you're a perfectly normal tree. Oh, oops. Cool, it's bumpy out here. Right. Just park there. And by park I mean crash, of course. Right, let's see what we got. Bluegill. Hope they are diurnal. They're not nocturnal. What are your traits? Oh, F traits. Bottom lurker, jumper. quite a big lake, but there doesn't seem to be a boat station on it, which is a bit of a shame. Right, we know there is some activity out here. That looks like a bluegill, to be honest with you. Ooh, that's the new shortcast animation. Ooh, that's very swish, isn't it? Right, if I pop you over here, that might be close enough to get this little guy's attention. Or maybe it's not and he's actually a million miles away. Ooh, he ran away from that. See, I thought there was a behavior update. I hadn't realized it was quite so intense. Ooh, okay. So, my old bad habit of quote-unquote sniping fish might be out of the running. Do I have any bluegill in my history? Latest catches. No, I've obviously not caught a bluegill for a while. Just to be expected from where I was fishing last time. Oh, look, there he is over there. Okay. Because I'm an impatient bad fisherman. I'm going to throw on the spin that they recommend. Try with this. It's not a very deep lake over here, is it? Okie dokie, who have we got on the hook today? Are you a bass again? Gosh darn it. Okay. Well, I shouldn't be surprised, they are everywhere. Okay. Right, we're getting down to about 6 meters out there. I think they've also upped the speed that you reel things in at. So I feel like that's coming in a lot more quickly than previously. Right, we have all of the bass today, apparently. I need to change strategies. Oh, we've got pike as well. Okay. Unfriendly face. What baits do you like that no one else likes?
The largemouth bass
Oh,
is a
shut up,
freshwater.
Clay. That's Clay. We like Clay, but he can be a bit. He can just be a bit. Maybe red worm hot dog. We could think about. What baits do I have on me? Is the other question. It's possible that everything I know will have been sort of turned upside down. Don't have any hot dog or bloodworm on me. I could try a bigger bloodworm nozzle. Nozzle? Hook. Let's also drop it a bit lower in the water because they're bottom dwellers. See if anybody gives us a nibble. And while we're doing that, does everybody now have like 8,000 baits they'll recommend?
The channel catfish is North
Yeah, a little
America's
bit.
most numerous. The northern pike is a species. The kokanee salmon is the non-anadromous form of the sockeye salmon. While size range of kokanee is often lake-specific.
Okay. Hmm. I might want to go back and get a special setup for bluegill fishing, possibly with the hot dogs. I don't normally carry hot dogs on me because nothing normally eats them, or at least nothing normally eats them more than eats the other baits. But the bluegill are apparently not very bitey today. Or I'm fishing in the wrong place. One of the two. Are they jumpers? Yes, they are jumpers, okay. So some of that jumping that I'm hearing could be bluegill. That's not, that's pike. Hmm. Oh, okay, they remain unfussed by that. What else can I try and tempt them with? Spoon was on the list, wasn't it?
The smallmouth bass is a species of freshwater game fish sought by anglers throughout the temperate zones of North America. The maximum recorded size is approximately.
Spinnerbait is on the list, not spoon. Spoon's for something else. Spoon might have been. Spoon might have been the salmon that I was looking at as well. Oh, goodness gracious me. Thank you very much to Cello006 for the follow as well. It's nice to have you along for the ride. Look at this guy. You're not a bluegill. I'm not after you. I'm not here for you. Hey there, how's it going? Goodness gracious, that's 2 new people this morning. I'm very happy. We are currently knee-deep in water and knee-deep in trying and failing to catch bluegill. I've foolishly minimized my thing. That lets me see what people are saying. You're Italian. You don't understand me very well. You're fine and that me. Oh, an Italian viewer. I've never had an Italian viewer. So welcome. I'm doing pretty good. Very good. You can't see, but I just made a thumbs up at the screen. Oh, look, there's a little perch guy down there as well. I want you and all. You have a PS4 and you're waiting on this game. Is it going to be coming to console in the end? I have not heard either way, like, confirmation. Oh! I said I wanted the little perch guy, and I got the little perch guy. Like, in December. Oh, that's fairly soon, actually. That's not so bad. That's not such a bad wait. Oh, we actually completed that challenge there. Which means, I guess, I can go and throw on a new one. Or, oh, do I only get to have 3? When can I change what challenges I have active? Oh, I can have weekly and daily challenges active at the same time. Oh, and maybe I can only pick 3 of them per day or per week. I see, okay. Right. Any... the 35 of any fish. Sure. 25 salmon. And 30 of any bronzes. Well... I guess I'll put this one on. You're playing Fishing Planet. I will confess that I have not played any fishing games other than this. So I have no idea how they compare, and I don't think I'd even heard of Fishing Planets, to be honest. Looks like there's someone who's following my little lure out there. They're a bit slow, a bit far behind. Can't decide if they're going to catch up or not. It's less open world than the Angler. I mean, one of the things I will say is, although they took a lot of effort to make this game open world, I don't feel like it benefits that much from the open world approach. You gotta be quick, little fish. You gotta be real quick. Ah! Oh, look at that! That's a huge bluegill! Come back, little fish! Come back! Oh no, he's not interested. Ah, that's a disaster. Okay. Right, so we know that they are out there. What type of fish are there in this game? There are 12 type of fish in this game currently, because there's only one place that you can fish in. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but I will attempt to have a look-see on screen so you can see. Come on. Have a bite. Have a nibble. Come on. Come on. Are you the same one? You are. Hello. Amazing. We got a bluegill. We got a gold bluegill. You really are a big one. Blimey. Right, bluegill. I think that's the biggest bluegill I've ever caught, and by quite some margin. So what fish do we have? We have large and smallmouth bass. We have bluegill, which I just caught. We have channel catfish. We have yellow perch. We have pike. We have cockney salmon, who are real ugly. Like real ugly. Very nearly very pretty, but instead managed to be very ugly. We have zauga. We have 3 types of trout. Golden trout, lake trout, and rainbow trout. And we have... oh. Your head looks interesting. Is that a texture bug, or does your head actually look like that? We have mountain whitefish, either way. Okay, so we know that this is the place and the correct bait to be grabbing the fish what we're after. Oh, the river's the lake's a lot deeper out there. That's good to know. There is a bluegill out there, because I just saw one come up to the surface. So... let's hope that they're what's biting. Nope. It's another bass. Cello says, I have homework to do, bye. Oh, well, thank you so much for stopping by. It was a pleasure to have you here. And thanks again for the follow. Good luck with whatever homework you have. Oh, there's plenty of bluegill over there. They don't seem to be particularly enticed. Maybe I'll swap in the spinner for a couple of casts. See how that goes down. Oh, they've also managed to fix that interface. Before it was bugged and you couldn't select the one that was at the bottom. I suppose I should actually have included that in my, like, bit of consumer guidance that I gave earlier, in that the game is often bugged, and the people who make these games are not particularly enamored by the concept of fixing bugs in their games. So when it's bugged, expect it to stay bugged for quite a while. No. That's completely wrong. I don't want you, little baby bass. I want bluegill. Oh, Oh, actually, I might have been casting in the right place before, to be honest. Because we're now going over the deepest bit of the water. Oh! Jeep, jeep! You're a little pike down there, that I see. Yes! One little pike. You'll also notice that I have legs only as far as they come above the water. They can't be bothered to render legs that exist under the water, apparently. Who's this guy? If he's a bluegill, he's moderately hefty. He's fighting a bit like a pike, so he's probably a baby pike. Oh, you're not quite so baby a pike, actually. Must admit, I would have thought this spinner would be a bit small for you. Let's aim over there. I think I just saw someone over that way. Oh, there's plenty of perch and stuff about. Right, someone's coming, they're a bit slow. That's promising, that means they could be bluegill. So we're going to slow our reeling right down. Could just mean they're a very tentative little thing. Oh! There's a catfish! I love catfish. Catfish are my favourite fish in the whole game, so although it's not what we're after, I'm never going to be upset by finding one. Even if he's only a little babby. Okay, let's try the spinnerbait again. I'm trying to remember what it was that I was fishing for Zalga with. I ended up accidentally getting some bluegill hits. I can't remember. There's obviously one piece of bait or something that overlaps between the two of them. Oh, more catfish! Okay, this one's only a baby. I'm not seeing anyone chasing, so we might not be in luck today. Oh, there's someone right over there. Like, you're a bluegill. Come on, come have a thing. Have a bite. I don't know if twitching helps. I don't know if twitching makes me more attractive. I wonder if that actually little micro motion is an effective twitching strategy, because I wouldn't say that I'm a master of twitching, particularly. Well, it does seem to sort of consistently think that this is twitching. We'll give it a go at least. I don't know if twitching is something you're supposed to do with this kind of lure, but it's something I am doing with this kind of lure, so... Well, I'm not going to call it an overwhelming success, although sometimes it does think I'm jigging instead of twitching. Which doesn't help. I'm not a huge fan of the like, input recognition system that this game has going on. It's not very, like, consistent. I think one more try with the spinnerbait, and then I'll go back and grab some of the other baits to go float fishing with. Oh, there's a bluegill right over there on the left, right underneath the my little quest icon. This lake is full of them. It's a good place to trial and error what will catch you bluegill. I wonder if they might need an intermediate size hook between the 7 and the 10 that I have. Because they went for the spinner that was size 7, but they didn't seem interested at all in the size 10, which is what I've used to catch them beforehand. I think I said I was going to go back after that, didn't I? And then I didn't do that. Anybody hungry? Anyone interested? Anyone at all? I can't see a fish. No. Look at him, he's right there, and he's not interested. What do you want? What will entice you? Apparently you go for frogs. Although I'd be terrified to see the bluegill that could swallow this thing. No, he's just... Oh! Somebody else on the line. There's probably too many pike and bass here for frogs to be very effective. Because they both jump on frogs.
The mountain whitefish is a widely distributed salmonid fish of western North America.
Swim bait.
It's a fish of mountain streams and lakes, favoring clear, cold water and large, deep pools of at least 3 feet. Mountain whitefish are bottom
You apparently
feeders,
go for popper.
stirring up the substrate with pectoral and tail fins to expose insect larvae and other invertebrates.
Oh, shut up, Clay. I wish there was a way to, like, make him stop talking when I was watching the screen.
Their main feeding time is in the evening, but they'll also take drifting prey during the day. The mountain whitefish frequently feeds in the lower strata of streams.
I'll give a spoon a few goes. I'll give this one more go, and I'll give a spoon a few goes. Because I've not tried the spoon here. I'll have to go and find out what swim bait is. Because I don't remember that. It might be a jigging lure. No, you're just a pike. Okay. Oh, not a bad size pike. Spoon, please. Spoon's another sinking one. This is the smallest spoon there is, so if this is too big for the bluegill, then all spoons are too big for the bluegill. Oh, we got a pike again. Really? You decided you'd lost interest? Really? Really, really? Okay, fine. That tactic. So what I used to do is if you miss a fish on the lure, but it's kind of followed you in close, you used to be able to like just do a short cast, and that would normally, like 9 times out of 10, that would attract the same fish. But apparently they're, I guess, a bit scared by that nowadays. They don't like that. They run away from it, so it's not an effective tactic anymore, which is very sad. Oh, someone's following. Alright, come here, come on. Give us a nibble. Give us a nibble. I can't tell what you are. Only that you are slow. Ugh. No. Well, whatever he was, he lost interest. Again. Gosh darn. Okay. So the spoon encourages people who don't really want to actually bite. Is what I'm gathering. I have no idea what species he was. If he was a bluegill, he was a big bluegill. But I suspect he was probably just kind of a normal sized bass. How vexing. No one seems to be that interested. Oh, there's someone actually, I say that. Someone's coming. Right, come here, you. Who are you? You a catfish again? You are a catfish again. Not what I was looking for, but not somebody I'm upset to have. After this, I'll have a look at how we're doing on our challenges, because that's why we're here. Okie dokie, we got someone. They were fairly keen. If you come here, I can see what you are. You're a pike. Okay. Right. So there's definitely some spoon stuff here. Challenges. Oh, we actually got the Catch 12 challenge done. We're still after one more bluegill. And we are 12 out of our way. Oh, we have a Yee haircut in the chat. Welcome. How many species of fish are there in this game? Currently, there are 12 species of fish in this game. But that comes with the caveat that they are teasing the release of a new reserve that will presumably have new and different fish in it. Although I have no idea how many or what kind. Do I have a note about bluegill? I have a note about sunfish. No, I do not. I only have notes about the bass. Okay. One more spoon cast? I think one more spoon cast, and then I'll head back. Try and grab some bluegill baits. Because they're obviously not very interested, for the most part, by these lures. Actually, I should do one cast over in that direction, where I caught the other bluegill. You joined the stream like 2 months ago when you were new to Hunt Call of the Wild. Well, it's a pleasure to have you along. I'm glad to be bringing The Hunter to the masses. I do adore that game. If you've been following for 2 months, you know I've already said this, but it's one of my favorite games to stream. Here we go. Here we go. Someone little down there. You want to get this game? I can't remember how much this game is on Steam because it's not like £40 AAA release price. If it was, I don't think I could like reasonably recommend this game. But if it's like 25 quid or 30 quid, then I'd say this game is probably quite well worth it. Right. I'll run out as far as I can in this direction. See if I get a spoon hit on this side, and then head back, grab bait. They're taunting me, these bluegill. I see them everywhere. They keep me up at night. No. Oh! What is this? You're a jumper? And a splasher? You're a pike. Of course you're a pike. Okay, right. Nope. I need to go here to access storage. Oh, I should actually look around the outpost in case they've made the storage more obvious. Because there's supposed to be storage here, for me, that I can access. I've just never found it. I must admit, doesn't really sort of look like there's anything that could be storage for me, does it? I'm gonna go with no on that one. It's not over here, is it? Be a really silly place for it. No, okay. Where's this shed? I'll have a look in this shed. No, this is a wood shed, it's not a proper storage thing. Okay, right. Sophia Taylor of Taylor's Tackles.
Beautiful day we're having.
Hi there, I would like
Look at these.
to get things out of storage, please. What I don't need liver for now. And I could maybe do with red worm. Don't need pearl barley. There we go, okay. Right. And then I want to see what a swim bait is. Is it a jig head? Or a soft plastic rather? Nope. Worm, shed, grub, tube. Shed, grub, tube, worm, shed, grub, tube, worm, grub. No, okay. So, what the hell's a swim bait? You're a swim bait. Okay, I've never had one of you before.
Hard body, soft body. If imitating a fish is what you're after, then we've got you covered.
Okay, I'll give one of these a try. I also have a popper in storage that I want to get out. Yes. Actually, I might store the cheese. And I might also check to see if they'll go for dough. Burgill? Do you go for dough? You do go for dough. Technically, you do also go for cheese.
Southeastern Canada and northern Mexico.
What'll it be?
Equipment. Yeah.
The Vizier combines old school
Swim bait.
sensibility and style with all the modern technological advancements you've come to expect from another Perkinson's future classic.
And I also wanted my popper, didn't I? What do I want to put away for the popper? Get rid of that. I don't need that. Right. Okay. Hopefully. Oh, I wanted to buy another.
I'll be over here.
I wanted to buy a. Oh my god! What the hell did I just see?
What can I get ya?
Wait. I want storage. Was I in storage?
Here's what I've got.
Storage. Baits. Do you go for leeches at all, Bluegill?
The bluegill is a species of freshwater fish native
You
to
do
North
go for leeches, okay.
What'll it be?
I'll put that away because that only works with the hook that I put away. I'll grab out. What was I putting it away for? Can I remember? Oh yes, the I wanted to buy a medium-sized hook.
Here's what
I
I've
think
got.
I have a hook already. I know I keep going in and out of this, and I apologize. No, I don't. Okay.
You've come to the right place.
Equipment, hooks. So I've got a 10, I've got a 7. Do I want to try an 8? Let's try an 8. Okay. Right, and then it's back to the old lake. I wonder if it's easier for me to get it from here, actually. I forgot how mournful this place sounds. Right. Do we think we can drive up that? Oh, oh no, not in the water, please. Not in the water. Please, not in the water. Do I think I can even get to that to try and drive up it? Over here, out. Well, I can give it a go, can't I? You know what they say, nothing ventured, nothing gained. That's fine, see? Should I go down here? Tackle a slightly different bit of the lake. Oh, I think I just hit something there, technically. Whoops. It's fine, that's how this car stops. Right. Let's go stand on this big rock. I like standing on a big rock. Oh gosh, this rock's a little bit precariously balanced. By which I mean to say I'm fairly sure it shouldn't be still standing where it is. But it's fine. Right. Okay. Rods. Got a size 10. Let's try a size 8. Actually, what size do you need? You need a size 6 minimum. Jesus. Okay, we'll try a size 5 with a worm on you. Not something I would usually go for when looking for fish this small, but I'll try anything once, you know me. We're just gonna sit for a while. Take a break. I am gonna have a bit of a drink. Okay. Is there any interest or activity around that little float at all, do we reckon? If not, we might be sitting here for quite a while. I don't think I've ever caught something on earthworms, or redworms as they call them here. Have I? Backpack. I've obviously caught something, because I've got 3% mastery, but that might only be one thing that I've ever caught using an earthworm. I probably should have gone for the smaller hook size, but I don't own a size 6. Which makes it a bit difficult to put one on a size 6. There's someone over there. I might recast out in that direction. Now that I know that's where someone lives. I'm also being absolutely plagued by fruit flies in my room. I think I've managed to smush about 6 of them in the last half an hour or so. This was definitely their second preference bait, wasn't it?
The largemouth
Yeah,
bass is
red
a
one.
freshwater.
Second preference bait. Not only does a bluegill not seem interested, nobody else seems interested either. Okay, let's cast once more off in this direction. Actually, let's cast once there and once there. See if there's anyone interested in some of the other places. I must admit, I was not expecting to have this much trouble fishing bluegill. Although I've not caught loads of them, I hadn't quite twigged that they were so tricksy. Particularly seeing as they seem to have such a huge variety of baits that they'll go for. I wonder what else is supposed to eat earthworms.
The largemouth bass is a freshwater game fish
You're
native
supposed
to the
to.
eastern. The smallmouth bass is a species of freshwater game.
You're supposed to.
The bluegill is a species of freshwater fish native.
You don't, apparently.
The yellow perch is a.
Perches do, although I've never seen a perch big enough to take a hook that is big enough for a earthworm.
The northern pike is a species of carnivorous fish of the genus East.
You do, but you don't like them a lot. Oops, I accidentally left. Not what I was supposed to do.
The largemouth bass is a freshwater game fish.
You didn't, but I didn't expect you to because you're a pain.
The sauger is a freshwater fish that resembles its close relative, the walleye.
You do, but it's not your
The
favorite.
golden trout, also known as the Californian golden trout.
You do.
The lake trout is a freshwater char living mainly in lakes in northern North America.
Apparently you do, which is a surprise to me. These guys are absolutely massive, and you only find them in like the deepest spots normally.
The rainbow trout is.
Of course you do. You eat everything.
The mountain whitefish is a white.
So do you, theoretically. Although absolutely nobody is fussed at all by this. Right, one more try with the old earthworm. This is why he was sat in storage since forever. Just because nobody likes him. Everyone says they like him, nobody actually likes him. Oh, hello, who's this down here? Is that a little channel catfish? I think that is. I might take a quick detour to try and snag him. If you'll forgive me. Nope, that's not going to help anyone. Look at you, you're big, aren't you? That's what I call sniping a fish, where you just see a fish and you aim for it and you get him. Oh, you're silver. Oh, we love a good silver channel catfish. Right, okay. Let's try this swim bait. Never tried a swim bait before. Don't know anything about it. How do I use it? Constant stop and go, or twitching, presentation sync. Gotcha. I will say, constant stop and go or twitching just means constant in Dizzy's dictionary. I've never ever seen anything that has suggested to me I'd have more success with twitching or stop and go than with just constant. In terms of experience. Right, you're trying to pull, and you're pulling fairly hard, but you haven't got away. You can't take line. Are you another catfish? Or are you a pike? I can't tell. You're a pike. Lovely silver pike. Got me fingers in his gills, which I'm sure is excruciatingly uncomfortable. We are about halfway towards our weekly goal, which is probably just going to be the same as having it be a daily goal, because I probably won't be streaming this more than once this week. But, I mean, in an hour and a quarter, that's not bad. We didn't even have it active for that whole hour and a quarter either. Big chunky bass boy. I must say, I quite like the swim baits in terms of how they look. They look very visually appealing to me. If I were to name one of these lures that would probably get me the best, it's probably this one. The crankbait, not the crankbait, the jerkbait looked also kind of sort of vaguely pleasing to the eye. I don't think I have one on me. Yes, I do. These look vaguely pleasing to the eye as well. But the swim bait are the most fishy looking of the fish lures. The poppers would be fine if they didn't have that sort of weird, like, open mouth thing, which I assume is for hydrodynamics, but it looks very ugly. Oh. I had him. Is he still there? Are you still there? Yes, or at least somebody is. You look like a pike. You are a pike. You look like a pike, at least. He's a pike. Okay. Now, who was that I saw down there? You're a bass, I think. So I feel fairly confident in ignoring you. What we've not got is any bluegill with this. Still. There's a little perch boy down there. Might try and nab you in a sec. There's someone coming, but he might be a bit slow. Oh, I just about managed to slow it down enough by doing that stop and go tactic right at the end. For a catfish buddy! Okay, we can apparently get you on this, which is nice. Now, where's that perch gone? Don't know. He was somewhere in this direction-ish. So we're just going to throw out one with the spinnerbait to see if we can entice that perch back towards us. And if we can't, then we haven't lost much, because it's not like this can't get bluegill. Oh! He tried to be sneaky and strike when I had my finger on the... Oh, are you a bluegill? No, you're a bass, never mind. I got all excited there, thinking he was what I was after. Where is... You're a bass. Where's that little perchy boy? No idea. Okay. Oh, there you are! Of course you show up now, don't you? When I've already cast. Little swine. I'm gonna get you. Now I know where you live. Oh, someone bit and then unbit. Oh, I might actually get you now. If this is you. You weren't the person who bit and unbit before. But hey, perch! Perch has been perched. Who was that then out there? Who was it? Oh, they never come back. It's completely pointless recasting for the same fish. They never come back. But I'm gonna do it anyway. We're also halfway up our bronze ranking, which is quite nice. I suppose that means about 2 in every 3 fish are bronze rank or higher, which doesn't seem right. I feel like almost all the fish we catch are bronze rank or higher. But what do I know, eh? This little bass just kind of swinging around with impunity there. Right, what have we got? Another bass. Another bass, okay. Right, let's try out some baits. Let's try out some baits. Rods. So you've got the earthworm on you, but you're hopeless. Try some hot dog, try some eggs. Maybe. Normally eggs just attract 8 million rainbow trout, but I actually haven't seen any rainbow trout here. And then I guess we'll have some hot dogs waiting in the wings just in case. Right, let's see how we get on. I suppose it's also possible that they've like changed the behavior of float fishing so that fish take longer to get interested. Which could be why I've not had any success with float fishing today. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the behavior updates have included. Okay, right. I've lost sight of my bobber. I can't see where it's gone. Oh no. It's out there somewhere. Oh look, there it is, helpfully generating lots of ripples for me. It's not vital to have eyes on the bobber, like the game gives you an audio cue if you're getting a nibble or a bite. But I don't think it's helpful to be prepared, and you can be prepared by seeing a fish visibly near your bobber in the water. Or right now, seeing no fish visibly in the water near your bobber is an indication that you don't have to worry. There was somebody who was sort of over that way, so I might try and overcast and reel in towards him. Where were you? You were sort of there-ish, I think. What have I actually got on? I've already forgotten what I put on the rod. Eggs. Eggu. In terms of lists of favourite food preferences,
The bluegill is a species
eggs are
of
pretty low
freshwater
down.
fish native to North America.
Hot dogs are higher up. I also still don't know what hook size I should be using. I'm kind of happy to write this off. Okay. Alright, let's point over this way. Haven't fished over this way in a hot minute. At least with the lures we were catching something, even if that something was a bluegill. This is just kind of a little boring. I'm sitting here, I don't even have my hand on the mouse most of the time. That looks like somebody coming, possibly. Under the water there. We might have interest. We have interest. Come on. There we go. Oh my god, whoever this is, they're so small, they like didn't even register a tug on my little tension meter there for a long time. What are you? What are you? What are you? What are you? Oh, you're a whitefish! Hello, I haven't seen you here yet. And you do have that sort of strange black head coloration.
Hello, Buck. It's Clay. Just getting in at Ruby River Range if you need me.
Oh.
Got you down here.
Okay, Clay. Maybe I'll come say hi at some point. Okay, if there's whitefish here, then at least something will nibble on my eggs. Which is a good thing. even if it doesn't mean I'll be catching bluegill. It means I'll be catching something. That also means it's getting towards nighttime if the whitefish are biting. Is that down in front of us? That's a bass, okay. He's sort of down there somewhere. There he is, you can see him. Oh, this is the part in the stream where this game makes me feel really sleepy. I think it's the soothing, the water, the gentle, like, crickets ambience, the not very much actually happening. It's very soothing. Very soothing. One of these days I am actually going to fall asleep live on stream. It's probably going to knacker my statistics, because I have to have like a certain average viewership for affiliate, and if I spend like 4 hours asleep, no one's going to be watching that. No one in their right mind is going to be watching that anyway. I wonder if I should change up what float I use, because this one is not very visible. I'm inclined to say it shouldn't matter, like, to the fish which float I use. But I can't guarantee that. I can guarantee there's absolutely no one interested in this today, are they? Right, okay. No, I want to try hot dog. I want to try hot dog. I'm actually going to use the 8 hot dog. Oh, for goodness sake. There we go. Right. Let's see if anyone's out and about who likes hot dog. What's most interesting is I know there were people out and about who liked bloodworm, and I still didn't get any bites on bloodworm. Because perch love bloodworm, whitefish, who I now know were here, also love bloodworm. God, that fish over there that just did a jump was like a little fountain. I just realised actually one of the other things that's lacking from this game that's in Hunter Call of the Wild that would really, really improve this game as like an open world ambience-y game is weather. There's no rain here, and not really any wind to speak of either. And it doesn't get misty or foggy. Which is a shame. Like, sunshine's nice and all, but it would be nice to have that kind of variability, particularly if it's something like rain that does affect the behavior of the fish. I'm guessing fish don't really care if it's misty, but I wonder if the bass would go for hot dogs. I mean, they're not, objectively. So it's perhaps a stupid thing to wonder. That's a little pike on my right there. I wonder if the bluegill are less bitey because I've got a bluegill challenge. That would be evil, if that were the case. Oh, I don't have the patience for this. One more plop. And then if this doesn't get anyone, I'll go back to fiddling about with lures. Because there's bluegill over there. I'm seeing them pop up. They're just not interested in what I have to offer. No, it's harder to see what's going on over there, because there's lots of ripples and reflections going on. So I can't really tell if there's going to be someone in the water nearby. But experience suggests there probably won't. Look, down here! There he is! Look at this guy! Hanging out with impunity. Entirely unfussed by the food. Look, he's swimming away from the food now. I was scared him. I wonder how long he'll take to come back. Maybe I need to like adjust my expectations and increase my wait times. Or maybe they just never come back. Although that would sort of mean that float fishing is completely pointless if you throw a float in and it scares away all the fish, and that they never come back. Hello there. Apologies for a brief intermission. They happen from time to time. Luckily, I caught it more or less straight away. And I was okay. Stop this. Stuff this. It's not working. It's not getting us anywhere. Are there any other baits that you really like? I should try before I just abandon
The
this
largemouth
altogether.
bass is a freshwater game fish native.
Maybe doe. Maybe doe. I'll try a bit on doe. Wait, what? I'm confused. I've got doe and the size 8 hook. I can't put doe on the size 8 hook. How have I managed that then? Well, okay. That's interesting. So it'll let me do that, will it? It'll let me do it. That's a piece of dough. Where do I think I'll have luck? Over there. The love of Christ! Oh my god, I hate this sometimes. The quote-unquote accessible casting is even more awful, but the inability of the game to recognize me actually casting is really quite annoying. Right, I guess let's see what happens when we have a piece of dough on a hook that was never supposed to be on. The answer is probably nothing. The same way nothing has been happening with anything else. But, you know, it's a novelty. Option 2 is that the game will crash, which will be even less fun. Look! Look, there's a little perchy guy there. Hey! Oh, I've overdone that. I overshot that. Also, perch don't care about dough. So, it's a complete waste of time. I'll plop it in. He'll run away and never come back. The entire thing will be pointless. I actually also don't know if they go for a hook this big. Well, we'll drop it in and we'll see. If they don't like it, then they don't like it. Meanwhile, I'll figure out what I'm going to put on my lure rod next. Popper. We haven't tried the popper here yet. There we go. This water is entirely devoid of fish. Oh, there's a big old bass over there. 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 Right. Still no bluegill. Okay. Alright, Popper is a water surface boy, so he's pretty much throw and pull, throw and pull. I'm not expecting to grab any bluegill with this thing, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. I would say that the poppers, oh Jesus, generally are among the less successful lures, in my experience. Oh, look at this guy. He wants nothing to do with it. There we go. I got him on the third one. You're an annoying little pike, aren't you? These are the only guys who ever go for this stuff. It's proper getting dark now, look. I should actually double check whether this is supposed to be used with constant, or if it's supposed to be stop and go and twitching only. Yes, okay. Constant is fine for this. I hate this. I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. It's because I've got a thing at the end of my mouse pad, because my desk is not that long. So my mouse kind of butts up against it. Which knackers the cable as well, probably. But, crucially, it stops me from doing the casting very well. I'm sensing... Oh, look, there's another little perch over there on the left. I'm sensing that this is not... Oh, hello. There's someone coming, I think. Maybe he was just moving past, or maybe he's gone for it. What are you? Are you a Zalga? Hello? Gosh, I didn't know you were here either. Hello? Right, okay, you can get Zalga on poppers. That's real handy to know. Okay, right. It's nighttime. Zalga are nighttime fish. They're, I think, the fish I've caught the least of in this game. Like, there's golden trout, there's Zalga, and there's bluegill, all of which I've caught very little of. So it's nice to know a new place to find those, and a new way of finding them as well. I didn't even see that. It was tiny, whatever it was, because I just like hiked it straight towards me across the water's surface. It was a baby largemouth, who looks blind almost, to be honest. And sometimes I can do like the shortest little movement and it'll accept it as a proper cast. Sometimes it takes like 5 tries. The game wants you to fish for Zalga by jigging, but jigging is the worst way to do anything in this game. I think there's someone following me very far away, so I'm going to slow right down. See if I can get him on stop and go. There we are. Who are you then? Oh, you might be a bluegill. Oh, yes! There we go. We got one at last. It's taken us all day to find 2 bluegill, but we have in fact caught 2 bluegill. Marvelous. I'm going to do a couple more casts with this because I'm enjoying it. Oh my gosh, you can't see anything though out there, can you? I should check the settings to make sure they haven't reset the brightness, but they probably haven't. Okay, so bluegill are slow. That's what we've learnt. You look real big for a bronze, blimey. I'm just gonna like finish my circle around the lake, or my circle on the spot, and then we'll be done here. It's nearly 2 o'clock, so I've got about an hour left of stream time if I want it. There's someone out there. You tempted? At all? No, you're not coming back? Oh, there's someone slow coming. Might be another Zalga. Possibly? No, you're a big old yellow perch. Okay, apparently they like the popper. Okay, this is actually a blast all of a sudden. It's taken all day for me to find enjoyment in catching this fish here, but it's fast. This is a well-stocked lake with a lot of diversity. That's not always a good thing, but in this case I'm having fun with it. Sometimes having a lot of diversity just means you can't get the thing you want, which, to be fair, it did here. But, it keeps things interesting. Oh, look. you see the moment where he notices the popper. And he's off after it like a rocket. Okay, so poppers might be more useful now than they have been previously. I know I said my circle's going to be on the spot, but I want to get a bit closer up to the water's edge. Look at that, there's a little baby bluegill over there. I bet he's not going to come towards me, is he? I wonder if I can use him as a way to learn about things. Yeah, he's entirely unfussed by this. Oh, that's because there's somebody after it already, actually. Which means I need to slow down. Are you a catfish? Hello. Right. Catfish. Release. Okay, so I can see there's a bluegill down there. What one thing would I like to test really quickly? I'd like to test hot dogs. Throw it out a long way. Reel it back. I think I reeled it back too far. There-ish. There-ish. Right, he's coming up. Is he coming up because he's interested? Or is he just coming up because he does that? I think he's just coming up because he does that. Oh, he looks like he's going for it, doesn't he? I can't, or does he? I genuinely can't tell. Yes, he's going for it. What are you? Is the next question. Come on, there we go. You are a bluegill, okay. So maybe there is a little bit of sniping left in this game. And yes, they do go for hot dogs. Is the other important takeaway from that. You just have to know where they are. You're a Zalga, aren't you, over there? Oh my god, please. Oh my god, please! There we go, blimey. Right. Maybe I should have tried shortcasting that, actually. Because I'm worried I'm going to get somebody's attention out there. But not this guy. Oh, he's moving. I think he's seen it. Or he's seen me. One of the two. catfish came. Supposedly, those tiny little Zalga things, supposedly they eat these massive catfish, according to the game. That seems unlikely to you, that's because it is. Right, there's another bluegill over there. I'm gonna try my sniping strategy again. Oh, there's somebody after this. Oh, you little swine! It's the catfish. I think they demand stop and go. Right, but we got you. Okay. Let's really quickly see if... Oh my god, game, you're killing me. You're absolutely killing me. How far do I reckon? 10-ish meters? Probably about there. See if we can encourage him back up. There he is. Is he coming for a bait? Looks promising. I think he is. Okay, so we can actually snipe with this. It just the process is a little trickier. We've also caught a lot bigger bluegill today than I've ever caught before. I don't think I've ever caught more than the bronze before. They are diddy little guys. Come on. Come on. Got him. Got him. Amazing. Wonderful. I'm tempted to kind of try, because I've got 2 silvers on the size 8s. Oh, I can't put hot dogs on the size 7, never mind. Actually, I can, because I can cheat. Oh, I also just can in general, because hot dog goes on everything, apparently. Right, there's one over there. I'm gonna try for... Right, okay, overcast. Then scroll back into maybe 15-ish meters? Maybe 20-ish meters? Let's go for 20-ish meters. He might have been at. Maybe 15. Okay, right, we're going to leave it there. See if we can pull that guy in who we saw on the slightly bigger hook. No, I think it is going to be size 8 hooks only. It's looking like, isn't it? Okay, well, it's good that we found that out. We got about an hour left. I have some other challenges to do. I've done all of my dailies, which is to be expected, because these two were very easy. We've just spent all day doing this one. What are my weeklies? I need one more bronze fish. I need some gold level cockney salmon. Cockney salmon, I've mostly had success with the diving bait, which is this one, the crankbait. So we're going to try that, and I've had my best luck with them on this lake. In fact, I've had my only luck with them on this lake. I'd like to try a different place, but the problem is I don't know where they'll actually be in a different place. I've never found them anywhere else. They will be somewhere else, I've just not found them. So I guess we're going here. Okie dokie. I don't know if they show up during the night. I sort of assume they do, but I don't know.
Hey, Buck, I'll be down the Emerald Lake Plateau outpost in a flash if you need me. See you there.
Noted, Clay. Thanks for letting me know. Right, now this lake has exactly 2 things in it. No more, no less. It has cockney salmon, and it has rainbow trout. And that's it. That's the be-all and end-all of this lake. Right. Normally I've been fishing from around here. Like... It sounds like there's fishies about. Let's go to the back of the boat. Looks sort of over there-ish. Right. And so this bait you can see on the bottom right hand side. As you reel it in, it goes down. Which makes it distinct from all the others. It's very odd and weird. I have absolutely no idea how it works. But apparently it does. And apparently it catches fish. Although we are currently seeing limited evidence thereof. That looked like a boy over there. Just down below me. The problem with this is you can't see, like, when they're near the lure. Hello everyone, back again. Apologies for the outage. I'd love to say, oh, it's never going to happen again, but send all of your hate mail, please, to Richard Branson at Twitch at virginmedia.com. Not to me, because it's not my fault. It's my ISP's. Please don't actually send Richard Branson any hate mail. In case that needs to be said. Like, yes, it's annoying that his company can't make internet that works, but he's not going to do anything about it himself, is he? We're going to try some stop and go. And I'm also going to check if salmon is supposed to be diurnal. Because if so, there's not much point in being here. Well, I'm not seeing this being phenomenally successful. on the whole. Oh, I tell a lie. There we go. We got someone. Here we got. Here we got. It's not the rainbow. It's a fairly hefty rainbow, but it is nonetheless just another rainbow. There we go. Bronze challenge completed. Cockney salmon. Not diurnal. Aggressive hard fighters jumpers. They should just sort of be around here somewhere. It's just going to be a case of finding them, and them finding me. Normally when I'm in this part of the woods, they are absolutely like teeming near the surface. You sort of can't look anywhere without seeing them, but that may be changed. Okey-dokey, what have we got? Oh, I think it's our first salmon of the day. It is. Lovely jubbly. There we go. We found them. We found them. We did it, gang. Alright, another 5 of those. They say, as if it's just that kind of easy and casual. I don't know if it likes going along the bottom or not. The last one I think we managed to grab while it was slightly off the bottom. But I don't know if that matters. Oh look, there's another bloody rainbows right here. Got him. I mean, dragging it along the bottom at least seems to be attracting them near me, so presumably they are following the lure. I think I just saw someone on my left that I need to go check out. So I guess it doesn't seem to be wrong per se. Maybe sort of over there. This direction. And I mean, if it says constant, then I guess it's constant. Yeah, look, that was on the bottom and they got him. So it's obviously fine. May even be beneficial, because I think the salmon might like bottom things. There we go. Lovely salmon. 2 down, 4 more to go. Rainbows along the way aren't bad. Actually, they are. I'm sick of rainbows. Ignore what I just said. I'm sick of rainbow trout. It's not really their fault that they're everywhere. They're just very successful. I know here specifically it's because they eat salmon eggs. I don't know why they're so successful in every other body of water. Oh, look, there's one right there on my left. Another rainbow. Right, got him. Let's turn and look sort of this way. Gotta remember to let it sit for just... Oh, that's a whitefish on my left, I think. I think that's a whitefish. Oh, I've gotta drop something in and see if I can grab him, because I don't have whitefish on my list for this area. Right, you're a lovely salmon. Oh, a silver salmon only. What was that thing? What is that thing down there? I can't tell. Either way, I've got to try and grab my rod out. See if I can lure up a whitefish. It was sort of over this way a bit. Didn't see exactly where you were. I'm pretty sure you're a whitefish. I might also be using too small a hook. Maybe I should have gone for the size 7. I wasn't really certain either way. Well, you're on the size 8 to be honest. Right, you don't seem to be coming up in response to this. So... Oh, look, the sun's just rising. And I'm sure he's now going to be completely disinterested. Let's try that. Let's try that. There we go. Okay. I may have spooked him away by short casting. Or he may not have been a whitefish at all. And it may be completely barmy. I'm using bloodworm instead of eggs because there's so many rainbow trout around here. If I throw in eggs, it'll just get taken by trout. Oh god, there's a salmon right there. Hello. No, okay, he doesn't seem interested. Okay, I thought I might be able to tempt in that salmon. I guess not. That's because he's gone under the boat, that's why. He's not behind the boat anymore, he went in front of me. He's actually doing his best to stay under it. It's probably because it's shady. Fish like that. Sometimes. Right, who have I got here? Another gold. Lovely. Okay. Right, let's see if I can snipe you. Oh no, look, see, that was too much. It spooked him. Which is interesting, because that's the distance I was shortcasting to get those rainbows, who were intrigued by me before. He didn't like that, he didn't like that at all. Okay, well, it's good to know. What side am I on? This side? I want this side, I'll do that side. Casting out towards that. There's a little, like, oasis of greenery there, which is quite sweet, in a way. I've not been keeping track of what number I'm on. This is probably 4, maybe 5? I'm pretty sure I've got 3 by now. That's assuming you are a gold, which is quite an assumption to make. Oh my god, you're so small! You look emaciated! That's an underfed salmon right there. Challenges. I'm at 3 out of 6, okay. Right, sit until it thinks you're not jigging anymore, then start going. That's the strat. Anything else is just faff. I'm not feeling super successful. Like, for salmon, this is a fairly good take. But, you know, I'm not feeling like, oh my gosh, we're swamped by salmon. Better than the bloomin' bluegill that we spent 2 hours catching. 1 hour per bluegill on average. What's worse is I feel like I can hear fish all around me in the water. I can't see any. There's a fish right there in the water, blimey. I just put my lure straight through that bit, and you ignored it. Rude fish. Okay, I need to point more to my left next try. Oh, what milled line thinks it's doing? It's really upset. I think they've tried to fix that line bug 2 or 3 times now as well, with no success. Right, so look over here-ish. I think I might have gone a bit too far. I might have overdone it. Oh, the sunrise on the water though looks gorgeous. There's another salmon there, so we're casting this way again in a few moments. You a big one? You a big boy? No. You're another kind of sickly looking silver boy. Game, you're killing me. Flip. Right, what do you look at that? The line's really unhappy there. Oh, you're a trout. I could, I suppose, in theory, try the next size up. But I tried a whole bunch of jerkbait sizes, and I only got them on like 2 really smallest hook sizes, so I don't feel like there's a lot of point doing that, because I don't think the salmon will go for the bigger hook sizes. And most of what I got when I did this trial was gold anyway, so it's not like there's vast reserves of larger salmon out there waiting to be hooked on bigger hooks. You know, I think I'm already sort of fishing at the upper end of the salmon population. Oh, look at him, he's right there! I swear to God, game. If I could short cast for that salmon, I would, but it doesn't seem to want me to do that, so we're not going to do that. We got a salmon, I don't think it's the same one. Because I think that was too far away, that was 27 meters away. Sorry, meters away. Must be refined. What do you reckon? I reckon silver. Although a bronze or a juvenile must be absolutely piddly little things. Considering how small a silver looks. Oh, I've got my speed down too low. Whoops. Ugh. Gotcha. You were? Oh, you were just a trout in the end. I got all excited, but it's just a trout. Right, there's a guy. Oh, I'm at the back now. I didn't want to be at the back. I wish you could choose which position on the boat you went to. That would be real nice, honestly. Rather than having to like cycle through all the positions and then getting lost. Because it like you lose your rotation when you move positions. It's very annoying. There are a bajillion ways they could have handled it better, and they didn't. So. Well, there was a salmon right out there. I had high hopes for that cast. I feel like I'm moderately confident that we'll get another 3 gold ones in the next half hour. Like, we got 3 gold ones in the last 26 minutes, so. Of course, every rainbow is a missed salmon. We just keep getting plus 0% mastery, and I've been using this rod combo for quite a while now, and we've not reached full mastery. I don't really know what it wants from us. Like, do I need to catch bigger and bigger fish? Are there like some species of fish I still haven't caught with this rod for whatever reason? I don't really know. Bloody trouts! Get off my lure! Get off my line! Back the boat for casting over there, shouldn't I? It mostly doesn't matter, it's just that if a fish goes under your boat, it will snap your line. Normally they don't really achieve that. Right, what have we got? Oh my god. Am I being punished for saying, oh, I'm sure we'll have golds, and for saying, oh, I've barely got anything other than golds? So that's what is that what's happening? Bloody trouts. Trouts. Where am I? Not at all where I wanted to be. Come on, game. Play nice. This is a very shallow part of the lake, actually. Over there. It's like 4 meters deep. It's the noise of disgust upon learning the thing that you have on the end of your rod is a trout. Well, this is it's small. It's a baby little trout. this is a salmon. It looks like a small salmon again. It is a small salmon. But at least it's a salmon. You know what they say? Every salmon's a cannon? I don't know where I was going with that. Every fish is a dish? It's a much better saying, although that includes rainbow trouts. A little rainbow over there on my right too. I think it's probably going to go down to my thing right now. I don't really want him. I guess we'll give him a go anyway. Yep, there he is. Got him. Nabbed him, nailed him. You name it, we did it to him. Right, there was a salmon in the water. I didn't get him because this guy took hold instead, so I'm going to try and cast back out for him. See if he's interested at all. He was sort of in this direction. He was a lot closer than where I've cast, obviously, but there's somebody down there. Didn't see what they were, but there's someone. Are they interested? Whoever they are? Yes, they are. Hello. Oh, that is a gold. I thought it was going to be another thing. Okay. Great. Four out of 6 now. We got time, we got time. So one of those things where it could be like right around the corner.
Hey, Buck.
Oh,
Get
Jesus,
wigging on
Clay.
down to Silver Strand Meadows, so catch me there.
You gave me a heart attack, Clay. I want you to know. Maybe I'll try this sort of three-way hybrid approach. Down the speed at 20 meters and then switch to stop and go at 10 meters. Because they're obviously having a little difficulty. But sometimes they just nab on right when it's like on the bottom going by super fast. But if it works, we're now only one away. So, you know, who am I to judge? I don't think this is how you're supposed to use stop and go. It's just like a supplement to constant. But, it's what we're rolling with. On that time. There's you out there, though, isn't there? Right, seeing as you're so keen. I'll at least try. Oh, he's gone. He went over there. He went off to the right somewhere. There he is. I think I'm gonna get with this. It's fun when you can't shortcast. Oh, hello. When you can't shortcast, sniping is a lot harder. Awesome. Big ugly rainbow boy. Hello. Now, where do I think you went? I think you went off there somewhere. That was very effective at catching this guy. And tremendously ineffective with anything else. I think that salmon's well and truly gone now. That's okay. We'll find another one. We got 20 minutes. 20 minutes to find one more big salmon. I think we could do that. If we do get our big salmon, I'll probably end the stream a couple minutes early at least. It's not like you'll be missing out on very much. So, any cast could be the last cast of the stream. Not that one, though. They like this side a bit more, I think. There we go! There we go! Wonderful. Truly, truly wonderful. Challenge completed. I believe that's everything. There we go. 3 out of 3 challenges completed. Glorious. So that is gonna be about it from me, I think. This has been Call of the World: The Angler, the new update that adds challenges. Uh, I felt like the game needed more direction than it had, so I think this is a really good thing to add. I'm normally not a huge fan of like daily quests and things in games. It all tends to be a little bit too like mobile clickbaity for me most of the time, but I think it's good to give the game shape and structure. Uh, as for me, if you've enjoyed watching, and you haven't already, please do consider dropping a follow. I want to say a big thank you to Cello, to Official Double Swee, or however you're supposed to pronounce that, for following during the stream. It's lovely. Also to some offline followers I had. Talkmatic, we love you very much. What was the other one's name? Something like the lateral something. I'll bring it up in a second. Thank you very much, you lovelies. It's always great to have you along. I think I should be now about 42 out of 50 towards the eventual goal of Philly affiliate status, which would be absolutely lovely. I'd love to get it before the end of the year. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but it would be nice. If you're watching this on YouTube, which is also a possibility, please do drop a like and maybe even consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. All of my past The Angler content is up there, so is all of my content from TheHunter, and in fact everything else I've ever played on stream. As for me, I will be back tomorrow at midday, playing not this, something else. Probably one from Paraspora, Heaven's Vault, and Potion Permit. They're sort of the, I suppose, main-ish games that I'm streaming at the moment. If you want to find out when that happens, you can follow me on Twitter at DizForDemise, or find me on Mastodon at DizForDemise at Eldritch.cafe, where I send out a tweet and a toot. They need a better name for them than toots. I send out a tweet or a Mastodon tweet every time I go live, so you never have to miss one of these in the future if you don't want to. Other than that, my name has been Dizzy. Thank you everyone so much for watching. It's always a massive pleasure being here with you, and I will see you all next time. Ta-ra! Bye!